on Australia's business channel. This is Media Week.
Hello and welcome to the program. Ahead, media profits, the CEOs of Seven West Media and Fairfax on their full year results, and of course the all-important outlook. Switching off, we found out why one of Foxtel's highest rating channels, TV1, will close down at the end of the year, plus all the latest executive moves and of course radio ratings. But first, data from the new newspaper readership measurement system known as Emma has been released for the first time. The long-awaited offering is backed by the newspaper industry group, the Readership Works. It goes up against rival newspaper measurement data from Roy Morgan. Well, to tell us more about the different reads these separate surveys are giving, we're joined by, of course, co-host James Manning, editor and publisher of Mediaweek, and also Mal Dale, the general manager of the Readership Works. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time today.
Hi James, welcome Mel.
Thank you.
Now this newspaper readership, magazine readership, it's all new. It's called Emma. We've been talking about it on the show for a good couple of years by now. So just give us a quick recap and how the different, now we know it's called Emma, it's measured by Ipsos, but you sort of look after it. So just talk us through how that works.
TRW is owned by the Newspaper Works.
Which is the Readership Works,
yes,
TRW.
Is the TRW, sorry, yes, Readership Works. And Ipsos conduct the survey on behalf of TRW.
That's the research company.
That's the research company, and the brand is Emma, which stands for Enhanced Mediometrics Australia.
What took so long? Obviously, as James mentioned, it's been something that's been talked about for quite some time. The publisher's not agreeing, the data too much to collate?
Well, we said we'd launch on the 19th of August, and we did. So,
fair enough.
We only said that reasonably recently.
Look, as James knows, this has been a complex project. I mean, when you seek to include global best practice techniques into a survey that is genuinely cross-platform, then you need to go through extensive periods where you're designing, where you're testing, re-evaluating, and then of course you've got to put it in the field. You know, so it really, I think the expectation from the market was that we announced we were going to do it and it would magically appear, but that was never really going to be the case.
What can you tell us about the commercial arrangement? I mean, has this been a significant investment by the publishers that support the Newspaper Works and TRW, or has Ipsos come in as a sort of contributor?
It's a significant investment by the Newspaper Works. And it's no different in that respect to how many of the other industry organisations conduct their own audience surveys.
So perhaps something like OzTam,
yeah,
they collect TV data and then on-sell it to agencies.
That's correct.
And it's actually collated by a research company on their behalf.
That's correct. But the important point here, James, is that Ipsos manage all of the commercial and sales arrangements. They conduct the survey. They maintain the database, and they're totally responsible for that. My role is simply to oversee that process and make sure that we're dealing with all the appropriate stakeholders. So, for example, the Media Federation of Australia, the Magazine Publishers Australia, IAB, AANA. I mean, I could
the acronyms go on. On some of those, the media agencies, the MFA, have been very, very vocal, enthusiastic supporters of the key. Is, are they going to pay for it and they're going to use the data?
Well, look, that's something you're going to have to ask them. But the fact that they have contributed so actively and been willing participants in helping to build what really is best practice in cross-platform audience insight survey would suggest that there's certainly a very high degree of interest there. But it's a market, and the superior product will win out, and we're very confident that we have that.
The other product, of course, is Roy Morgan Research, been looking after readership for a long time. Have you had any feedback from them at all? And they used to get a few please explains from publishers when they sort of wanted to query the figures. Have you had any please explains yet from publishers this week?
From publishers or from Roy Morgan?
From publishers. Yeah.
No. The please explains would be directed to Ipsos as the research company in any case.
So there really is, they're really set up and they'll just deal with that
Absolutely.
direct and you won't have an input there.
Look, it's very important that you understand that Ipsos are an independent company. They're the third largest research company in the world. They conduct surveys in 41 markets, including the UK. They know what they're doing.
What sort of data can subscribers access? I mean, what's the kind of stuff they can get their hands on?
Well, one of the things that has attracted the most interest has been obviously the cross-platform data. Clearly, we measure other channel planning metrics such as heavy, medium, light, consumption of other media most useful. We've got a very sophisticated segmentation that's been designed along with Dr. Rebecca Huntley, who I know you know well, James. And we've got an extensive product survey that's also available. So it can replicate an end-to-end planning system for both product planning, for channel planning, and of course, importantly, for evaluating cross-platform and print buys.
There were some pretty dramatic jumps in the data. We've seen a lot of magazines go up. Some actually doubled their readership, a couple even tripled. Some of the newspapers look quite healthy. Do you think this could have any impact on ad rates for the publishers?
Well, really, you're going to have to ask Fiorella and Ed Harrison about that.
They'll make that decision. But have you got any, presumably maybe not in the short term, but do you think...
My principal concern on this is to make sure that we are accurately reflecting the health of the publishing industry. Taking a one-dimensional view of simply looking at the print channel and then making that kind of assumption that, that it's on the nose has been one of the major fallacies that's been out in the market for some time. So, as I say, I just want to make sure that the survey that Ipsos conducts accurately reflects how people consume our journalism in the 21st century.
All right, look, on that note, got to leave it there. Mal Dow, really appreciate you joining us this week. Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
We are going to head to break. Coming up on Media Week, we'll hear from 7 West Media boss Tim Warner as he delivers the first annual numbers as CEO.